Hi everyone, so I'm back with another unboxing, and this one is well overdue since all these versions came out quite a while ago, and I've had them for quite a while. But what I have here are all 4 versions of Junho's latest Japanese mini album, 2017 SS. And this is Junho's 5th mini album in Japan, so the SS stands for Summer Streaming, which is kind of Junho's way of saying how he connects every summer with his fans, and how he brings, I guess, music kind of together in that flowing connection. But I'm sure he's said this more eloquently in an interview somewhere, but that is kind of what I recall him saying, and some variation. But I'm going to go through these one by one to show you the different contents, because all of 2PM's in general solo releases, and even their group releases, often come with different content that makes it so that you kind of have to buy them all. But I'm going to go through them all and show you what points are kind of worth noting for each version, so that way if you had to choose one, it should be a good way to kind of decide which one would best suit you. But I'll go through these chronologically, since these jewel cases here actually were released a month prior to this LP-sized one. So we'll start with these. So I ended up pre-ordering all 3 of these versions, and these were the ones that were released at the beginning of July. And so I got these on Amazon Japan, so I got them within like 2 days of its release. And each of these came with one of these erasers. So these are just kind of a bonus thing you get if you pre-order from certain K-pop online stores. And I actually took one of these out of the packet. So this is what it looks like. Okay, good. This is what it looks like. So each part actually does come off, which is really cute. And I haven't actually used this as an eraser, so I don't know the quality, but right now it's sitting on my shelf for display purposes. And I think I'm going to keep it that way. But I did want to note that most online stores, you can only buy these 3 versions when these were released. But if you were to order on Sony Music Japan, you could actually get what's called a box set. So this is what it looks like. I have it wrapped just in plastic right now, but it comes with all 3 of these versions just in this nice kind of box. So that's what it looks like. And I did get this secondhand after this was released, because it's a little cheaper that way, since you can't, or I can't really buy directly from Sony Music Japan. So this is version A, B, and then the regular version. So I'm just going to work my way down. So I'm going to start with the limited A version. So this is the limited CDDVD version. And I think out of all of the 3 jewel case version, this one has the easiest to read track list. So you see on the back here, I'll zoom in. The CD disc, so disc 1, contains 5 different songs, and so these 5 different songs are going to be the same on all 4 versions. Just the 3 other versions will have slight variations with either extra songs or extra instrumental tracks. But you have, the first one is Ice Cream. So this is his title track with the music video. Then you have Candy, which features Sana from Twice, Diamond, Canvas, and Fine. And then for the DVD content, you have both the original and dance version for the Ice Cream music video, and also the making kind of movie. So it's kind of the behind the scenes of filming his Ice Cream music video. And it also shows a little bit of behind the scenes for his Canvas music video as well, since he kind of filmed those at the same time. So I think during the day he filmed Ice Cream in Santa Monica, And then somewhere else in California, he filmed a music video for Canvas at Night. So let's get into what it looks like inside. So this is the OB strip. So I had this removed already. And have this blue CD disc and then this yellow DVD disc. Then as for booklet, came with codes, and look at all the pictures in this version. This just has all the contents and then the lyrics. And some of these images you're going to see actually are jacket cards on that they gave out at certain venues when he was touring in Japan. Not all of them, but a couple of them. And you're going to see kind of different images in all these books. So that was version A. Move on to version B. So this is the extended CD version. And the jewel case is actually a bit thicker because it has a thicker photo book as well. So this is what the back looks like, and the camera's not going to focus due to kind of the color saturation that's going on here. So I'm going to show you what the CD contents are in the booklet. So this is what it looks like inside. So you have the CD, which does have the track list on it, but again, this color scheme I think is going to make it so the camera doesn't want to focus. And then we have the OB strip, which has that same green-orange coloration, and we'll see what's inside this photo book, which is the thickest out of all these versions. Ads and whatnot. So this has a much easier to read track list. So you'll notice that the first 5 tracks are the same as what was on version A. We have 3 new songs. So you have the Wow Junho version. So this was originally a 2 p.m. song that Junho wrote for their Promise single. But, and he also included the Korean version of this on his Korean mini album Canvas. But we also have Ice Cream Remix. And then this last track here is, I think it translates to something like Can We Meet Again in English. So you get, so the nice thing about the B versions for all of 2 PM's mini or solo mini albums is you always get 3 extra songs. So we have lyrics and then just more photos here. And if you're not familiar with Junho's solo work, he always works on his own lyrics and song composition. So all the songs do have him in the credits, and he said in interviews that he writes his songs in Korean first, then they're translated into Japanese. So when you hear kind of the Korean versions of some of these songs, like on his Canvas mini album, sometimes I just find them a bit more natural, because usually I think sometimes it's really hard to translate between Korean and Japanese when it comes to these songs, but I think for most of Junho's, and frankly I think most of 2 PM's Japanese songs that were originally in Korean, I think they kind of translate pretty well, but maybe that's my biased opinion. Anyway, that was this booklet, and we'll move on to the last jewel case, which is this regular edition. So it's in the pink, and it's not going to want to zoom in on this, but you have the same 5 tracks, and then the instrumental to Ice Cream is what's on this one. And so you have this kind of greenish teal CD, and the OB strip, and then the booklet is probably the thinnest out of all of them. So it does come with ads, Again, here's the track list. And just more pictures. So some of these are similar to the other pictures, but most of these are, I think, different across the 3 jewel case versions. So this mini album came with photo cards too, as well as high touch cards like all of 2PM's Japanese releases. So there's 5 different kind of picture photo cards, and then these are just what they look like on the back. And then you could also get this high touch, which does have that kind of glittery effect on it. And I think as far as packaging goes, I tend to prefer these large LP sized ones, since for display purposes they're a lot of fun. And I thought it was a cute touch that he put his cats and his heart here in this kind of weird X-ray cutout. Though it's a little sad seeing Lambo, which was his cat that passed away earlier this year. And his one of the songs actually on this, Fine, was kind of inspired by his feelings regarding his cat passing away at an unexpected time. But anyway, this is what the back looks like. Okay, so a closer look at all of the contents. You'll notice that the CD has all the same songs as the other versions, so those 5 kind of bass tracks, if you will. And you get 2 different DVDs with concert footage. So he actually released a DVD a few months prior to this. So that one's from his Hyper tour, while this one's from his last Hyper Night tour. That's not too confusing, but basically his Hyper tour he did during summer, after in the summer after he released DSMN, and then his last Hyper Night tour was sort of like the encore concert that occurred around December of that year, or of last year. So you kind of have some crossover when it comes to the set list, but there are different songs, and of course the staging was different, and his hair was different. So he was blonde during Hyper Night, but here he kind of had that reddish hair he had during the 2PM Wild Beat reality show. But so I do have, so this is his Hyper tour DVD. And so if you want to kind of look at songs here, you'll see that they're slightly different. Like on this one has arguably my favorite song, Insomnia, on it, while on this LP DVD version doesn't. And then there's some other songs that I really enjoyed that were on here, but they weren't on this LP version. But if I had to choose one, it's probably gonna be this one, just because of just how emotional the encore was. It was a really good encore, and just what the fans did for Junho I thought was really touching. But other than that, you really, I think, can't go wrong with either of those DVDs. Though this one, the Hyper Night Tour, does come with a nice photo book, while this one just comes with some LP-sized cards. So I'm going to show you what those look like inside. So I'll remove this lip case. And so we have the CD and the 2 DVDs positioned on this kind of cardboard here. And then these are all the jacket cards that are LP sized. And so these will have the lyrics on the back. So another look at his X-ray heart, and then ice cream. And this is candy. I do like the designs that they did for the lyrics. They're really cute. And then diamond. Canvas. And lastly we have Fine for songs. and his thanks to. And just some credits. And this last page here just has credits for the concert DVD. Alright, that was what everything looked like. And I didn't talk too much about the songs themselves, so I'll kind of go into my favorites and a couple of thoughts I had regarding those. But when it comes to favorite songs, it's really hard for me to kind of pick a favorite when it comes to Junho's solo stuff. But I think for this release, Diamond was kind of the standout for me, though Canvas was a very close second, as well as Fine. But both Canvas and Fine, as well as his version of WoW actually, both have Korean versions on his Korean mini album Canvas, which he released in September. And when I do that unboxing, I'll go a little bit more into kind of those songs and just how I felt about him doing a Korean release so quickly and all that. But I think with Junho releasing all these songs that he's written in Korean in Japan for the last 5 years, I think he's really shown growth in writing lyrics that really translate well. I think for his prior releases, I tend to prefer the Korean versions of them over the Japanese versions, even though he released the Japanese versions first. But I think this time around I kind of prefer the Japanese versions. And I don't know if that's just because I just heard the Japanese version so many more times before he released the Korean versions, or if he's just improving when it comes to writing those kind of, I guess, translations that translate well. Yeah, I think Junho, whenever it comes to K-pop solo artists that originally come from groups, Junho is one that never disappoints, in my opinion. And I always look forward to his summer releases every year. And it's exciting that he's finally venturing into the Korean market, since he's been getting a bit more popularity over there. And so I hope that before he has to enlist, he gets to release a few more things both in Japan and Korea, just as a way to kind of continue that growth and do what he loves doing, which is making music for his fans. Anyway, that was it for this unboxing. Thank you for watching, and I hope this was helpful. And look forward to more 2 PM related unboxings for the most part, because I do have a lot of things that I plan on showing you guys. So stay tuned for that.